Alright class, so we just did the basic, most simple way of inheriting genes from parents. Complete dominance, dominant recessive, those are our only options. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so the next couple videos are going to look at what if things are a little bit different. So what if it's not simple complete dominance? So this one is about something called incomplete dominance. So in this case, there's actually no dominant or recessive alleles. Okay, no dominant or recessive alleles. So basically that's kind of telling us that all alleles are expressed equally. Okay, all alleles are expressed equally. So, before, if we had one dominant allele, it didn't matter what else was there. So now it matters what else is there. And remember, one of the things that's going to look different with this is if we don't have dominant and recessive alleles, we're not going to use big A, little a, right? Because the uppercase, lowercase, we're representing dominant and recessive. So in this case, our alleles are going to look something like this, right? They're going to be all just a letter, so really an uppercase of the letter. And then there's either going to be a superscript or a subscript. So it's going to look something like this: R1, R2, CW, CR. So, the R's are all capital, the C's are all capital, but the superscript or subscript is telling us which version of that allele do we have. Right, so the alleles will look different. There's no uppercase, lowercase. And then the last thing with this, and it's because of this, it's because all the alleles are expressed equally. Hey, if we have an individual that's heterozygous, hey, that's expressed as a mix of the phenotypes. Okay, so that's the big difference. That's kind of the number one difference here, is we're going from complete to incomplete. In complete dominance, we did not do any kind of mixing of phenotypes. If the dominant allele was there, it's what we saw, regardless of what the recessive allele said. Now we're going to see both. Both are present. We see a mixture of the two. And that's actually, it's a key word, right? Mix is a key word here. Because like if our two colors are red and white, mix is pink. If the two colors are black and white, mix is gray. So we're literally going to be mixing those phenotypes. Alright, so let's look at across here. Let's say we're going to cross red flowered plant. Oh, I got to tell you all the background stuff first. Sorry. So the character we're using, we're just going to use flower color again, but in a different plant. Flower color in a plant called snapdragons. And the traits can be red or white, or our mix of the two, which is pink. So we may see red flowers, white flowers, or pink flowers. And then we're going to use the alleles C, R to mean red, and CW to mean white. So notice we don't have an allele for pink, right? Pink is just present if we have one of each of these two things. But we don't have a separate allele just for pink color. Alright, so now we can do our cross. We're going to cross a red flowered plant with a white flowered plant. Okay, so since we have incomplete dominance here, the only way to get red is to have two CRs. And the only way to get white is if we have two CWs. Right, so there's not an allele for pink, but genotypes, there's one for everything. CR is the only thing that can be red. CW is the only thing that can be white. And then if we see CW anywhere, that's a genotype that gives us pink. All right, so then gametes. It's always my second step. Nothing changes with this. CR or CR, CW or CW. One set of gametes for each row. One set for each column. Complete the Punnett square. All right, so we filled in our Punnett square. And then we can do our two ratios. Okay, we can do our genotypic ratio and then our phenotypic ratio. So again, I would suggest don't get lazy, write everything you might have. CR, CW, CW. It's okay if 0 is an answer. So CR, 0 out of 4. CW, 4 out of 4. CW, 0 out of 4. And then for phenotypes, remember every genotype here is going to have a phenotype. So if it's CR, it's red. CW is pink. CW is white. And if you've done this cross correctly, then the ratios have to be the same, right? If there's no CR, there can't be any red plants, red flowers. So pink is going to be 4 out of 4. White is going to be 0 out of 4. These things should match if you've done the cross correctly, because every genotype has its own specific phenotype. All right, let's do one more of these. Let's cross CRCW with CRCW. So normally in-person class I would stop for a couple minutes and just kind of let people do this on their own. And I don't want to have 2 minutes of dead airspace here. So obviously I can't make you, but I would recommend pause this video, work your problem on your paper where you're taking notes, and then start the video again and see if you got it correct. That's the only way to know if you really understand what you're supposed to be doing here. All right, one set of gametes per row, the other set per column. Matching columns with rows. And then we're going to do our two ratios. So list all possible genotypes. Oops. So then we can count in our Punnett square, CR, CR, 1 out of 4. CR, CW's 2 out of 4. CW, CW, 1 out of 4. And then phenotypic would be red to pink to white. Right? And like I told you before, these have to match. So as long as we done our cross correctly, we would have 1 out of 4 red, 2 out of 4 pink, 1 out of 4 white. Right? That's incomplete dominance. What makes this incomplete dominance is this. The heterozygous gives us a mix of the phenotypes. Right? And I want to show you something real quick, and I hope this isn't going to make stuff more confusing, but on the previous problem we worked, where we did complete dominance, that was like this. Right? We can get parts of our Punnett square that have heterozygotes like this. But if this is complete dominance, those two genotypes are the dominant trait, which was purple. And a lot of times I'll see people that, even though it says this is complete dominance, they automatically think that this is purple, this is white, and this is, okay, it's a mix of purple. I'm going to call this lavender. Like they'll do something like that, and we don't do that in complete dominance. We're only doing that in incomplete dominance. Right? So you kind of have to pay attention. You don't have to know it. You don't have to memorize it. I'm already telling you which one it is, but you got to pay attention to it. Because if you do this, it's going to all be wrong, which is not going to be a very good grade. All right? So this was incomplete dominance.